Hey guys, this is Rushy, and we still have a bit of waiting to do till Sea of Thieves comes out. So today we're going to talk about 5 awesome features that I and some people in the community would like to see added into the game. Some of them are already being hinted by the creators of the game Rare, but I just want to dive a bit deeper into it. Also keep in mind that for the most part this is what I personally want to see added into the game. I'm not hating on Sea of Thieves, nor I think the game will be bad in any way. So I hope you don't dislike the video just because we might not share the same opinion. Instead of that, let me know down in the comments below what do you want to see added into the game in future plans and what are your expectations for the game. So number 5 is something that it's already being talked about in the community, and it's the addition of raids in game. Now I don't know what's the official name that Rare is going to give to this, but there are already skeleton islands where you can find a bunch of mobs to fight against, and this is probably what the raids will be like. From what Eurogamer said in their video about 6 new things coming out to Sea of Thieves, you will see a gigantic skull-shaped cloud hovering above the island where the skeleton fort will be. And after you defeat a bunch of waves of skeletons, you will make your way to the final boss, aka the Skull Captain. And once you defeat it, you will get a key for the fort's vault, and in this vault you will find a big number of treasures for you to claim. I think this is going to be one of the best features in game, but what I would like to see here was the addition of different types of raids or world events. For example, instead of having a specific set number of islands around the map where this could happen, it would be amazing if Rare created some of these events in form of gigantic skeleton ships that spawn randomly around the world, or even an underwater cave that you would have to explore where instead of fighting against skeletons you would fight against mermaids. Maybe even add some puzzle elements to it to make it even more challenging. The possibilities are endless when it comes to raids in game and what they can do with it. It would also be amazing if instead of fighting a generic boss like the Skull Captain, we would get to fight some legendary undead pirates with some different abilities. Someone with a lore behind it in the world of Sea of Thieves. They could even use some type of magic to make the fights a lot more memorable and challenging at the same time. And at number 4, I want to talk about something that can be related to raids as well, and this is the rewards you get from completing this type of events. Now I'm not saying that winning a bunch of treasure is bad in any way, especially because you will need to use the gold to buy a lot of stuff in game, but don't you think it would make the experience much more rewarding if alongside the vault key you could get something extra like the sword or the pistol of the boss as a prize from defeating it? So number 4 is the addition of cursed weapons and unique cosmetics into the game. This would be items that you can only get by doing certain things in game, like decrypting a really hard riddle or fight against a specific boss like I mentioned before, or even have to complete a really hard obstacle course in like a time limit. So basically no easy way of getting them. Now for the cursed weapons that I mentioned, they could be stronger than the regular ones that we already have, and they could even add some extra abilities into the mix. I think having a curse alongside them would be fun as well and would fit the whole pirate theme. That's why I call them cursed weapons. This would make them kind of a high risk, high reward type of thing. For example, you could have a cursed sword that deals extra damage and applies poison on hit, but it also deals damage over time to you every time you're wielding it. In addition to this, they could also have some unique looks for them for extra points in pirate swag. As for the rest of the cosmetic items, I don't see the necessity of adding extra perks to them other than looking cool and unique. Otherwise everyone is going to look the same because of the extra stats, and that will make the customization irrelevant. On the number 3 we have ships and crew size. Don't get me wrong, I think the game plays really well and it's easy to coordinate with a 4-man crew, so adding more members to it can make things a bit harder. But still, it's a pirate game, and when I think about pirate crews I always think about a bunch of pirates together with different roles on the ship. Now I'm not saying that I would like to see a ship with 30 members in it at once, but it would be pretty cool if we could have a ship big enough for a crew of 8 people, for example. As for the ship models, it would be amazing to have a bunch of different ones to choose from instead of just the genetic one we get. And I know, they said you could customize some parts of the ship, and I think that's amazing, but as much as you can customize it, the model of the ship is still going to be the same for all we know. So maybe adding different types of ships with different sail mechanics or even different parts to explore inside of it would definitely be an interesting feature. They can even have them as unlockables where you need to do some type of mission or achieve a certain rank before you can buy a different ship model. This is just an idea, and personally it's one of the features I would like to see more in the game. Now for the number 2 I have 2 things I would like to add instead of 1, and I put them at the same spot because I think they would work best if they were both implemented in the game together. So first is the pirate alliances, or guilds if you prefer a more generic name for it. The name is pretty self-explanatory. You would basically be in the alliance with, let's say, 60 players for example, on where you could use the same flag in order to identify each other, and you would probably work towards the same goals and objectives. What are the possible advantages of having a Pirates Alliance, you ask? Well, first off, as you have a tab for your friends where you can see who's online and who's not, you could also have a tab for your Alliance members. That way, it would make things easier when it comes to play with people you know and with basically the same goals as yours. So even if you are missing one of your friends that night, you can always invite someone from your Alliance. Let's say it makes things a little less random. Also, it would make the pirates' interactions in the world a lot more interesting, where instead of people attacking all the ships they find in the sea, it would make them think twice before attacking someone with the Alliance flag. This could even possibly cause some guild wars, and it would be kind of fun to see that happening, honestly. The other thing would be a guild hub, a common place for you and your alliance mates to be in, maybe out of the normal server even. I think this would really bring big groups of people together, and it would be a really cool place to make new friends in Sea of Thieves. Now, before I announce the number 1 spot, I just want to do some honorable mentions. I did a post on a Facebook group called Sea of Thieves Community a couple of days ago, asking the guys there what features they wanted to see added into the game, and my idea was to read the best ones for you guys. But there were so many good ideas being shared there that I'm going to show all of them here. If you need time to read some of them, you can always pause the video, guys. A big shout out to all the members in the Facebook group, especially the ones that took time off their days to comment on the post and share their ideas with me. If you like to talk about Sea of Thieves, I definitely advise you guys to join the group. It's full of amazing people that are really passionate about the game, and you can have some great discussions in there. I'll leave a link for the group in the description. Now, till this point I didn't really have a specific order for the ideas that I mentioned, but the number 1 does earn the spot for 2 different reasons. First being the fact that it's dedicated to the late game, so to speak, and second is the fact that all the previous points will just make the idea for the number 1 spot even better. Now, I do know that Rare already has some plans for the late game, but I'm just afraid that it gets too repetitive. What I think we need is a big PvP mode, like something that we can queue up for. I thought of a lot of different ways of doing this, and the one I like the most, I call it Fleet versus Fleet, but you can call it Pirate Wars or something else. I'm not claiming the idea as mine, by the way. I'm pretty sure someone else already thought about this. It was just more appealing every time I think of PvP in a pirate game. So basically the idea was to have 2 teams of, let's say, 20 people battling to see who's the last one standing. Now, of course, that you could queue up anytime during the game, meaning that you didn't really need to achieve nothing to unlock this mode. But it would make it even better if you could use all the points that I mentioned in this video to make this even better. For example, queuing up with alliance members for better communication, or having cursed weapons in different ships to help you turn the tides of battle. Now, this would be PvP, so every match would probably be different, so things will feel a lot less repetitive. And also, they can create different modes of games as an alternative to the deathmatch. The possibilities are endless here, and even if you're not a big PvP fan, you would still have the PvE content to explore. Now, that's it guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this top 5. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, and as I mentioned before, let me know down in the comments what features you'd like to see added into Sea of Thieves. I will do a lot more content for this game from now on, so in case you guys don't want to miss that, don't forget to subscribe. And I also did a fun video on Sea of Thieves last week that I think you guys will love. I'll leave the link in the description for that one as well. I'm Rushy, and I'll see you next time.